Hello everyone, I hope you are all having a wonderful day today. I usually do not narrate through my videos, but I thought this one needs it. I have had multiple requests to show how to fully assemble a 30 unit origami model, since I only show 10 to 12 units in my video tutorials. The reason why I do this is because I find that once you understand how to connect the units, it tends to get confusing trying to follow along unit by unit with the video. It is more important to understand where the groups of 5s and 3s are on the model and then continue at your own pace. So today I will show you how to recognize where those groups of 3s and 5s are on the model and then fully assemble an icosahedron for you. If you want to skip ahead, I will leave exact times in the video description below. Now let's dive in. So here I have a bunch of 30 unit models that I have taught on my channel already, so hopefully you recognize some of them. We will see that icosahedrons tend to have a more prominent groups of 3, and dodecahedrons tend to have more prominent groups of 5. But that being said, I want to show you how similar they all are to each other. Let's first look at some icosahedrons. So here you can see this group of 5 wrapped around with groups of 3. And these groups of 3s are kind of spiky and are a bit more, I like to think of them as more prominent than the group of 5 in the center. So generally in my videos, I'll show you how to assemble the 5 and then put a unit here to make the 5 spikes. And then when we're going to assemble this unit model later, we're going to basically rotate it, and then we're going to create another group of 5 and then finish creating groups of 3 around that. So this is this model, and then I'm going to show you a few others like it. Here we can see this group of 5 with groups of 3 around. You can see that all throughout the model. Same thing here. Group of 5, groups of 3. And then the last icosahedron would be this one. And even though this one looks a little bit different, you still get the same idea, which is this group of 5 in the center with these spiked groups of 3. So now we're going to move to some dodecahedrons. The only difference of these is that the group of 5 tends to be a little bit more prominent than the groups of 3. So here you see that group of 5, it kind of spikes out a bit, and then you see these groups of 3 around it. Same thing with this one. We have groups of 5 around with groups of 3. And lastly, this model, which the groups of 5 create a pretty star in the center, and then has these groups of 3. But trying to recognize this idea will help you as you go through, because you will realize that the models are not that unique from one another. So once you can successfully make one, making other models should not be that difficult. Remember, if you have any questions with what I'm saying, feel free to ask them in the comments below and I will respond to them. Icosahedron, I will be assembling my model called August, which has units similar to Synnöve units. I will begin by creating our first ring of 5. And it is important to keep in mind that sometimes I do assemble it a bit differently depending on how well the units stay assembled as groups of 3s and 5s, but for this example, we will begin with a group of 5. So let's do that. Okay, so now that we assembled this group of 5, we're going to make the group of 3 around. Like that. So let's continue with the next 4. And I find it is best to kind of hold on center like this. And once you get the hang of creating icosahedrons, you might find that it's easier to assemble groups of 3 and then make the rings of 5 around that. It depends on what's easiest for you. Okay, so now we have 10 units assembled, so let's move on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate the model a little bit upwards, like this. And here you're going to see 1 unit, 2 units, and 3 units beginning to create that group of 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to complete that group of 5. And then we're going to create those groups of 3s around it. Probably going to have to rotate the model a bit just to do this. That is why sometimes it does get a bit confusing to fully assemble a model on camera. Okay. So here's the one that we completed prior, and this is the group of 5 that we just completed. As you can see, there needs to be a 3rd unit here, here, and here. So let's do that. Okay, so now we have 2 full groups of 5 with the groups of 3 surrounding it. So now I'm going to hold it like this, so you see both groups of 5. I'm going to rotate the model a little bit upwards like that, and here you will see 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 units, 4 units. So now we need to put that 5th unit in to create that group of 5. And then from there, there'll be 2 locations where we'll have to finish the groups of 3. Rotating it just so I can more easily assemble it. Okay, now I'm rotating it back for you. Okay, so now I'm going to put the 3rd unit here and here. Okay. So now we have a group of 5, 3 groups of 5, with then the groups of 3 surrounding that. Okay, so now that I have more units, I'm going to, so you see the group of 5, 5, and 5, and I'm going to rotate this up a bit like this. So if you kind of look underneath, you can see inside the groups of 5, since it's hollow. And I see here 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units. And we're going to do the same thing we've done, which is fill in that group of 5. Once that's complete, then finish up these 3 groups of 3. Okay, so now we just completed that group of 5, and I'm going to rotate the model a little bit to the right here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's a group of 5. We just need to finish assembling it, putting that last unit in the pocket, like that, and then putting the last group of 3 together. Oops. Like that. And then if we rotate a little bit to the left, you can see that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then finish that group of 5. Then put the last group of 3 in place, like this. Okay, so now you see the little claw. We're almost done. So you can see there's 5 flaps here and then 5 more units. That's a good way of putting it, and I also think it looks kind of cool this way. It's almost there. So I'm going to continue going through it. This time I'm going to have it facing upwards, the exposed piece facing upwards though. So now here I see 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put my 5th unit in. Like that. And then finish those groups of 3. Sometimes it starts to get a little difficult because there's so many flaps everywhere. And sometimes units do fall off. Just put them back in place. So now that's complete. So on the right and the left of this, there are groups of 5 ready to be assembled. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just insert that into the flap. Then take your next unit and finish off that group of 3. Then I'm going to rotate a little to the left, to the right, then finish off this group of 5. And before using my last unit, I'm going to finish off this group of 5 too. So now you see there's 1 flap, 2 flaps, 1 pocket, 2 pockets, which is where this unit's going in. So I think it's easiest to lift up the 2 flaps here and then insert the unit, kind of just like place it down inside. Oops. Sorry, unit slipped out. Okay, then place it inside. Sometimes it gets a little messy. So that's not even in place yet. I just putting it there, I think, is the easiest way of starting. Then I'm going to insert the last unit into that pocket, and then this next pocket. So now all that's left is inserting these 2 flaps into the pockets. Like that. Sometimes cupping the model a bit will help all in place. And that is how to fully assemble an icosahedron. As always, please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.